Hey viewers, welcome back to the Noob Guide for Noobs, where we are going to go into our next game, or rather our next discussion of items. And I'm not sure who I need to go next, but let's let's go Odin. So Odin, kind of a warrior. He is very well, kind of a tanky DPS kind of guy. He's very hard to kill. And he does quite a bit of damage. It's just that, well, he needs to work with others to do really well. But in the late game, he can definitely land the kills himself. And we are going to see what he is made of. We're going to play in the next game, of course, or in the next video. And, well, we're going to see now kind of how he plays and what we should build to kind of reinforce that. First of all, keep in mind he is a tanky dude. He wants to go in first. He wants to just make sure that his team can land the kills. Kind of with most of the support characters, it is like that. So he wants to protect his own team. He wants to kill his enemy team. But he wants to do that by going in first. Therefore, kind of sprint is out of there. Teleport to towers is out of there. Purification beads, not actually necessary. Unless he is in real trouble with someone who, who can grab him or something like that. Normally he doesn't need them. He also doesn't need Aegis. He doesn't really need Shell. Creeping Curse, however, is good. Meditation is out. Hand of the Gods would be good. It gives him an extra stun. Yeah, so if you're in trouble, you can go for Purification Beads or Aegis. Normally Purification Beads. Because you're a tanky dude, you don't need the invulnerability. You would much rather have the 2 extra basic attacks and be able to follow your opponents or run away from your opponents if you need to, instead of having that little bit of damage reduction. Well, it can actually be quite a lot, but beside the point. So what remains, Shard is also out by the way, what remains are Eye of Providence, the Creeping Curse, and especially the Weakening Curse. This one just not as good. It is of course an attack speed reduction, but the healing reduction is normally what makes this such a good item. Of course you can go for either of them depending on the game state, and you should always keep the game state in mind. Blink can be very good on him because, well, it allows you to blink to people and immediately cage them, which is your ultimate in case you don't know how he works. Girdle of Might might also be useful. Both the Girdle of Support and the Girdle of Inner Power may come in handy. It is just, it's all about what you want. But yeah, it also all depends on the game state. So keep that in mind, it's always the same. So for your starter item, normally you would go either Mark of the Vanguard or Watcher's Gift, depending on what your team is doing. If you're jungling, of course, Boomba's Mask. And if you're just in a solo lane, sure, go Death Stall. Why not? Because it's not like you have to hide behind the minions and only last hit or something like that. No, you can just stand in front of the minions. Nobody cares. It is Odin. Odin does a lot of damage. So yeah, you can go with all 4 of the starter items. Of course, Watcher's Gift only in a 2 versus 2 lane, or 2 versus 1, whatever. If you have someone that picks up the minions, Boomba's Mask only in the jungle. But yeah, that's kind of obvious. Then what you're going to go in the items is the power combined with, in this case, physical defense, so Void Blade would be good, and magical, so Shield would be good. Shield is not a great item, but it does give a lot of protection, so it does give you quite a lot of good things. For the rest, you can go pretty much whatever you want. So Heartseeker is good, which is pure damage, but you can also just go for the safe route and go for the more, well, defensive items, I guess. The items with health on them, for example, Frostbound Hammer would be decent. Also the aura items would be decent. They don't really have power on them, as you could see. But by the way, you do want to go for the focused Void Blade normally. Don't go for that for the normal Void Blade. You want to go for the focused Void Blade because you are a damage heavy support. So it's kind of opposite to most of the supports. You do want to do the damage yourself. It's just that you have to help out your teammates as well. Sovereignty Mystical Mark. Those are great items for you, and they do allow you to take quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, both of them have physical protection only, as you can see, and don't really do, well, don't really give you anything in the magic defense department. Witchstone also pretty useful. But your main things or main magic defense comes from things like Bulwark of Hope, so the big items, the big tanky items. And then in the late game, once you have everything covered, you're going for penetration items like Titan's Bane and, well, maybe even the Ninja Tabi's. Tabi, sorry, Tabi is already a plural. So, yeah, the 15 magical penetration definitely comes in very handy. Titan's Bane increases that by 33%. So, well, not actually, but it adds 33% physical penetration to your attacks. You can also do well with with other items, but yeah, you will have to find that out for yourself. Your main thing is focus on a little bit of defense early game. So you don't have to go for super defensive items. But go for like this, and then maybe if you're having trouble with magic, go for Bulwark of Hope, and then go offensive after that. And for the rest, yeah, attack speed, you don't really need that. It is already in your skills, extra attack speed, so you don't really need extra attack speed. Lifesteal is definitely good on you. So either go Devourer's Gloves if you're in well, a position to take minions, because then you can't really beat this. Otherwise, go for one of the others, except for Eye of Retaliation. That is just a crappy item. But one of the others, all of these are good. So the first, was that 6? The first 6 are good. The last one is just a crap item. But it all depends on what you want. So this one gives you extra lifesteal and such. This one gives you extra damage, which is great, of course. It also gives you extra attack speed. Both sides give you extra damage and extra attack speed. This one reduces healing, but yeah, that all depends whether there's a healer on the enemy team. Of course, you want to go by basic attacks, not by skills, because yeah, that's just crap. 2 stacks for what you get with 1 basic attack, so yeah, it's not really a competition. Soul Eater, not the best, but if you have physical carries on your team and you want to support those, go for Soul Eater. Why not? It adds physical lifesteal, it adds attack speed, which means that you do get more DPS, and you get more physical lifesteal and more physical power to your physical carries, so that's good as well. And this one, if you're at low health, you get extra lifesteal, which is exactly what you would want, because you are the guy that goes in first. So getting extra lifesteal exactly when you need it is pretty good, actually. It also adds a lot of attack speed, which, as I said, you don't need, but you can still use it. Sure, why not? Then penetration already said. My personal favorites are, of course, Titan's Bane and the Warrior Tabi and the Void Blade. So all 3 of them can be in one build, and then if you add in the Asai, then you can pretty much do it with that. Of course, Executioner is a great early game item, especially if you're in a 1 versus 1 lane. It can do very well. And Jotun's Wrath, if you feel like your ability cooldowns are too high for some reason, although, well, you shouldn't really feel that way, but if you feel that way, go for Jotun's Wrath. It is a good item, so really no downside. Deathbringer, really not for you. The same goes for Rage and Golden Bow. The critical chance items are not really for you. You are normally the guy that, yeah, that goes in first, tanks up the damage, and then gets the hell back out. Maybe grabs a kill every now and then. But if you go for Deathbringer, then yes, you can actually land pentakills, because, well, especially with your 3 here, you do AoE damage, and it just does a great amount of damage with Deathbringer. So even Deathbringer in the later stage of the game becomes a really valuable choice. Sorry, not valuable, valid choice. So you can actually go for whatever the hell you want. It all depends on how you play. So your playstyle, your knowledge of the champion, or god in this case, and your uh, yeah, your game state at that point. So how's your team doing? How's your opponent's team doing? Who are you up against? Who are you playing with? And well, those kind of things, if you can answer them by saying, well, I'm doing very well and the enemy really doesn't have that much damage, but is very squishy, then Deathbringer is your choice. Sure. If you're, however, saying, well, my team is kind of derping it up and we need some more physical protection on the entire team, Sovereignty is your choice. It's really that easy. So, yeah, I think I talked enough about it. It is really not that hard to get the Odin items right, because Odin is really one of those well, characters you can build anything on. Anything is good on him. So just try him out. He is awesome. He is probably the god with the most pentakills at the moment. So just try him out and learn to play him. He is very, very good. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG.